Ruchi. Thank you so very much for joining us. So we have Ruchi today, and she has been kind enough to provide us with her time and also her recent experience with us as well. So she'll be sharing some of her recent experience of how it went with the purchase. So Ruchi, before we go into that, how are
Yeah.
you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you, Adil. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for finding time. I know you are a busy person. You are. Do you want to talk a little bit about yourself? I don't want to introduce on your behalf, but please go ahead.
Okay. Oh no. And so I mean, I thank you to you too for adjusting the time. So I mean, you are busy too. So just to introduce myself, so I'm a GP in Brisbane, working part time to full time, and a
Yeah,
co-parent, co-parenting my 8-year-old boy. And yes, that's who I am.
yeah, GP doctor, right? So that's kind of stressful, is it?
It is. It is. But I believe all the jobs in Australia are stressful, so I can't
Okay,
say I'm more stressed.
I like that answer. Okay, so I mean, I just wanted to start. I know we'll be talking about your journey and how it went, but I just wanted to start. What is your in your life? I mean, we all have goals, ambitions,
Mm.
targets, things like that, not necessarily financial goals, but I just wanted to understand your purpose, your big why in life. If someone asks you what is your big why in life or for life, what would be your answer?
This is a difficult one to answer. I've never thought of or jotted down any goals or something. But yes, to me, good health, good relations, and a bit of financial security. That's what I want. Yeah. So I think those three are the first three that comes to my mind.
And I think you hit the three. These are the three core areas that all the
Yeah.
happiness revolves around, which is health, wealth, and health, wealth, and relationships. So you
Yes.
actually covered all
Yes.
three of them in your why. But I mean,
Any.
if you had to pick any one of them, I mean, I'm not saying that you have to, but
Yeah.
do you think one is more important than the other for whatever reason?
Over last few years, once I settled in my GP after my training and everything, the financial security part was kind of the main for me, and to find that pathway to and get some more insights and everything on that. So that one was the main, I think, from last 2 years.
Okay, okay. Now that's interesting. So you started being practicing as a GP for the last 2 years only?
No, I've been in that. So my doctor journey, that's from 2008, so long time. But then I came to Australia in 2012, and then the hospital part and everything. So as a GP, I started the training in 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, and yes, that's when
So,
the training started, and finished the training and stuff last year.
so when you say you came to Australia in 2012, where are you from originally?
India, Gujarat,
Oh,
the
from
western
Gujarat.
side.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly. Okay, just I mean I know that, but just for the sake of our
Yeah.
viewers, I just thought
Yes.
of asking that as well.
Okay.
So, okay, so have you been like the doctor all the way since you arrived in Australia, or were you doing something else before 2020?
So pretty much, I've been a doctor since 2008. So in India, I finished my MBBS, and then I did my MD dermatology, and then I came to Australia 2012. I mean, I was married and I got here, and then pretty much in 2014, end of 2014, that's when I started practicing in the hospital in Townsville. So that was my first start. And then that's when the journey started here in Australia. So pretty much hospital life for 3 years, 3.5 years, and then the GP training since 2020. Yeah.
Wow, you started your doctor journey in
Journey
Townsville
in
and come back
Townsville,
to Townsville as well.
and come back to
So
life
it's a full
circles
circle,
around,
right?
full circle.
Full
It's meant
circle.
to happen, something like that.
That's really interesting. Now that's good. So
Yeah.
I know we have worked together. I think we worked for 6 weeks over the course of it, and we
Yes.
will go through the details as
Yes.
well. So you said financial security was really the important thing for you. So when we talk
Yes.
about financial security, do you want to elaborate a bit more on that? What does it sound for you? what does it mean for you? Does it mean having big piles of cash, or just sleeping on big cash, or just traveling around in a business class all the time? What is financial security for you?
um I think, to me, financial security, because like with my life, I think, so I and my partner, we got separated in 2021, and after that, since then, I was still in my GP training and everything. So I've been thinking about it, that for my son, I want bit of that freedom, that even when I turn 55 or 60, or let's say for some reason, if I'm not able to work or something, there is something there generating income for me, so I can, help my son in his future, like in terms of education, especially. That's what my parents have done for me, like how it happens in Asian countries, like parents pay the money. So I don't think when I was training and stuff, I've paid any money for my education and stuff. So that's what I want to try my best. I know in Australia it's a different scenario, but the best I can. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So if I can understand it correctly, financial security pretty much for you was whether I'm working or not, whether I'm able to make
Yes.
the same money which I'm making now, I
Yes.
still need to make sure that my son gets the best possible education moving forward.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes. Yes. And if we
Yeah,
want something, at least financially, there should not be a barrier or a major barrier. That's what
yeah,
I need, as long as, yeah.
and that's
and
very
and,
important. Yeah,
and
go ahead.
something for my parents at the end of the day, sorry, and something for my parents back home. That's they've done enough for me, so I guess time to do something, yeah,
That is
for
that is
them too.
that is so close to my heart when people talk about their families, their
Yeah.
parents, what they've done for their for themselves during their childhood, and even when they were growing up. And you make a
Yeah.
similar point that what your parents did for you was
Yeah.
amazing, and now you want to do exactly the same for your child as well. And I mean, if I
Yes.
could do just half of what my parents did for myself, and I can
Yeah.
do half of it for my kids, I would be
Kids.
a super happy
Yeah,
person.
so
So
happy. Yeah.
yeah, no, that really resonates well with me as well. So now that's beautiful. So you started the GP thing and talked about financial security. I mean, do you you live in Brisbane, right?
Yes. Yes.
And which part of Brisbane are you in?
um Sherwood, so that'll be like, I think, western side, part of the western.
Yep, yep,
Yep.
Sherwood. Okay, beautiful. And what gave you the idea? Like, where did the idea of property investing came in your mind?
Like, I mean, I think a few of my friends are doing it. Two of them are doing it. They do their own research and everything, and they've been doing it for years, right? And I think I've heard about it. Like, when I was like working last year in the practice, like my supervisor, like the practice owners, they all are into the property investment and everything. But I never had the guts to kind of do it myself, because I have no family here. It's hard to trust someone to put that first step, right? Everybody's like, oh, do your own research and you can figure it out. And I'm like, okay, how do I figure this out?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
how long this idea was like kind of bothering you in your mind at the back of your head that you have to do something about it?
Oh, I think, honestly, I'll be honest about this. This idea has been bothering me for a year or two. I started doing something actively maybe this year. Like, I started
Okay.
doing some research on my own, but still there are lots of things. And I feel, if you're good in one thing, in terms of, you need to find someone who is really good in this and you can trust that person, because if I try to do everything myself, I don't think it works well. That's what I feel. I think you take a
Yeah.
lot of stress on yourself, and yeah. So um but yeah, it's been going on for a long time. The step I just took it, like, you know this
Yeah.
year.
I know.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned about 2 years you've been thinking about it. So
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
at least 2 years you were really kind of seriously thinking about it, isn't it?
On and off, it will come and then it will go back, and friends will pick up the topic and I'll try to talk to them, okay, and then they'll give you that floating advice and everything. I mean, not that they don't want to advise you or anything, but they also have their own pressures and stress and everything. So you want to go back, it doesn't happen, you research, then it doesn't work, then it's decision around school, this, that, and then it's like buying for your own or buying for investment. So yeah, kind of buying a property was in my mind, but this investment kind of thing was more recent. I would say 6 to 8 months kind of thing.
And that's where the strategy comes and plays a part, right? I think what you're alluding to
Yes,
is more of a strategy thing. What would work for
yes,
you?
yes,
What makes you comfortable?
yes.
I know you were really not sure. I know. I mean, recalling when we started having that chat
Hmm.
initially, we discussed about the strategy. We discussed what your goals were. So,
Yes.
uh, I mean, what was really stopping you for the first 2 years? I know you were thinking on and off, but what was really stopping you at that point to actually go ahead and make a decision that
Make a
yes, this
decision.
is the thing I have to buy, this is where I will buy, this is how I will go and negotiate, this is how I'll do it. So, what was that barrier or last
Barrier.
hurdle?
The thing was, I didn't know where to start, and that was the hard part. Like, okay, who do I ask, or where do I start? Do I just jump in wherever I want? Okay, what to look for? Okay, is it like where to start with? Okay, get the loan stuff. Okay, fine, but what next? Okay, am I going to buy for my own? Which suburbs to look for? And this is good, this is not good. And then you hear there is so much of overwhelming information on, Google and stuff, and I think people just give different advice because it's from their own experiences, right? So I never kind of could was able to put things on paper, and I think that came, I think, after I spoke to you, and I think that really clarified the things, and I could take the first step. That's, yeah.
Nah, that's. I remember our initial meeting. I think we
Oh
had a one
yes.
and a half hour meeting, right?
Yeah, I think uh, and the funny moment was you were asking me the questions, and I think something about financial freedom, and I was like, oh, I've never thought about all this stuff. And I know, and I think I the best part was, I think I decided that I'll be honest, that I don't know anything about this. But I think with that 1.5 hour consultation, and I truly appreciate for you doing that, that you went through all the steps very clearly, and you went through what works for me, what are my concerns and stuff. And I remember that we went back and forth in between and again, and you took time from your busy schedule too. I think it was a weekend that you spoke to me second time. So I know, and you're equally busy. So it really helped me, and kind of I could sit back and trust the process, trust you, and then trust myself that I can take that risk, and that's very important for me. So I think, and I always believe things work for a reason, so that worked that time. So yeah.
It did work. Now that was good and
Yeah.
good on you. I mean, kudos to you that you actually took that decision in your hand because you mentioned about financial security that you wanted to have financial
Yes.
security in your life for your future for your son, and that's the
Yes.
exact discussion we started having in that long
In that.
discussion we had. The question around financial freedom is about that
Yes.
financial security.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm glad that our conversation went in the right direction and you were able to get some clarity after that discussion, and then we
Hmm.
progressed further into the onto the next steps. So how crazy was that of a decision for you to be working with us? Tell me about it. Was it a bad decision? Absolutely worst kind of a decision you made?
No, it was absolutely the best decision, and I feel, Adil, um, I think talking to you after the first meeting that we had, after that, I felt quite relieved. I felt I could trust you because the way you spoke to me, so it was not rushed. It was not, oh, okay, let's do this. And it was because I was under that impression that you're going to show me some properties and bam, done. And I might go to say yes or no. And I don't know hell about it. And I'm like, okay, fine, I might just say no. But I think that first consultation, that really, really helped me understand what I want, and that was very good. I could put on paper, and that works for me. And you gave me the clarity that was really important, and I could take that step in that direction, understanding what steps I have to take, what is involved. And I felt I could trust you. That's the best part. Yeah.
I mean, I speak to a lot of people, and they seem to be they say, oh, I make a lot of money in real estate. I'm making good fortune. I'm making like $200,000 $300,000 income or even more. So I really should not be investing in real estate or in any other form. I should just not be investing at all. Do you really buy it? Do you really buy this idea that your salary or your income is good enough to make sure that you can retire comfortably as well?
No, I don't think so. The income is that enough because you need some sort of security. But I think it works from person to person also, what they feel comfortable with. So that's their, the question for them to answer themselves. But I feel you still need that passive income for the ongoing purpose, or even for your retirement, or something for the goals during your retirement life. Is it for your health? Is it for traveling? Is it for the things you like, for the people you love? Anything. Because I think income can be generated as long as you can work, but we can't still predict where life goes. That's the challenge, isn't it? And that's why we need the investment. It's like how you invest in your health, you still need to invest for your wealth too.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you make a good point because there are some things which are not controllable in life. You can't control everything, but there are certain things which we can still control, right? And I think our own financial future is something we can control, especially being living in Australia. I think we have that massive opportunity where we can control our own financial future to certain extent. And we all should be doing that. And I am a big advocate of that, that we can do it. We just need proper education, proper guidance, and proper leverage, because leverage means where you can probably use a 100 grand. I use it as example a lot, where you can have savings of 100 grand or 200 grand, but you can use that to buy an asset or a property worth 100K, right? And once that grows in value by 8, 9, 10%, it's not like your 200 grand growing, it's actually that 800K value growing by 8, 9, 10% a year, which is massive, which creates a lot of uh, options for you down the line. And you can use that growth to actually fund whatever you want, or just keep doing that process again, keep building more assets, keep building a broader asset base for your family. I do it in property. I don't talk about property. People do it in stocks and other stuff as well. Uh, I don't want to comment on that because I'm not licensed to do that. But when it comes to property, that just makes me feel a bit more excited.
And I feel that passive income also helps. Let's say, for example, you asked about the goals, and I guess if I have something in my life that, okay, I do want to contribute to my, the general practice and everything that I do. I mean, that really is like takes part of my heart actually. But the other thing is, I also like, I love dancing, but I know that doesn't generate that much income. But I don't want to get too old. Like, I need some income to be there where I can also follow what I love, right? Which I know it's not that much of, the income generating kind of an activity, but you can kind of spend that towards that, or yeah. So a lot of things I think you need to think, or anyone can answer that, and anyone should actually answer themselves actually what they want. But I do think investment in your wealth and health is very important.
You make a very, very good point, Rishi, because it's not about what financial freedom or what that passive income allows you to do is not just to sit and do nothing after that. Once you've achieved that status, it just allows you to be more of yourself and actually do what you love doing, not because you have to pay your bills and you're doing something, but you're doing something purely because you love doing it. And it may not have any monetary return. Like if you talk about dancing, you may not get any monetary return from dancing, but again, it makes you feel happy. But if you start dancing now in your business hours by leaving your work, it may impact you. But in 10 years' time, when you have enough assets created, enough passive income coming through, you can probably dedicate maybe even 15 hours a week dancing, right? So, do you want to run us through the process? Like when we started together before, then what did you used to think about property investments? Did it make you feel scared? Did you
Hmm.
feel excited about when you heard about that term that you have to buy a property? Or did it feel overwhelming, or you just felt nothing at all?
No, it always felt overwhelming for me because, as I said, I didn't know what the process is, and when I don't know the process, and when you don't have someone you can trust, or you you don't know who's gonna explain the steps or anything. I mean, I don't expect you to tell me everything. Like, I still have to take my informed decisions, but you need someone who can guide you through that process. So before this, I think I was always overwhelmed. And when you Google, I think thousands of things will come up. And oh, check this, check that, and check this, that. And half of the time before you get in, the properties are gone. And I'm like, oh, okay. I think that was another process, which I think I tried buying in one of the suburbs, and I was trying to call, which I felt might work for. my son's school, but I was not very happy with the suburb. But that was an affordable one. And before even I'll call them the same day, and they're like, "Oh, it's already sold." And I'm like, "Okay, half an hour before it was like it's there and like it's gone." Okay, yeah. So
You're right. It's crazy out there with the
it's
stock lending.
crazy. It's crazy.
It is
Yeah,
crazy. You have to jump
crazy.
onto it quickly. And
Jump
how does
on.
it feel
Yes.
now? I mean, just fast forward. How does it feel now after having gone through the process of buying your first investment asset? How does it
Yes.
feel now? You still feeling overwhelmed? You still feeling scared?
Actually, not. After going through the process with you, I'm not feeling that scared, and I feel a bit more confident. I think I happen to speak to you about my friends, and I think I feel I've become an inspiration for them. So they are now taking this process a bit seriously and they're looking into it. That is one. Secondly, I think talking to you actually, I could, clear my mind. Okay, I want to buy for myself. If that's not possible, wait, but still I'll try to get into the investment thing. So that's how it worked. And third, the process with through you, it was also quite good because I think you were trying to look into so much of research and you go through so much. I mean, your whole team, you go through so much of, like, that, how we say, the backload of work behind that you do. You're like the anesthetists, like you do the background work so much that the surgeons can go and operate. It's like that. So you showed me the off listed property, so at least I could trust that, okay, that property I can actually look into and I can trust that it's a good property. You've already done the research. So my actually hard work has been lessened to a significant amount. It's just trusting the process, trusting the right person. And I'm thankful that I found the right person. So that way, it's like that. So it worked pretty well. So now I
Uh,
feel more confident.
Beautiful. Now, beautiful.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about the off-market properties actually, because the one that we bought
Yeah.
for you was an off-market property. It was not
Yes.
listed anywhere.
And you
So that
mentioned, I think you got to know, you got through me. And I think you were always kind of, how would I say, proactive about things. Like, I think, getting things sorted, keeping things in the loop, so that actually helps me trust the person that I'm working with, right? That, okay, that process I can trust. Otherwise, if I have to follow up and I have to work, okay, hang on, then okay, I lose the interest, or I lose the trust in myself. What am I doing? So that was pretty good, that I knew that that part is being taken care of. And as I said, you did a lot of background research work, which I really
yeah.
appreciate for your team. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so very much for your
Thank
kind
you.
words. I mean, you were the good thing of working with you specifically, Ruchi, was, I mean, we have to also make sure that the advice that we are giving is getting received as well, and people are trusting the process. So I think you were one of those very good clients. Most of our clients are that way, but I would rather want to highlight you over here because people who do listen to the advice, no matter how many questions they ask, I don't have any problems with questions. But once they listen to the advice and they trust the process, I think that's where it's very easy for us as well to give the right outcome for them. So kudos to you. I mean, you were really listening and taking the advice. You had your questions, which is perfectly okay. And I expect you to have questions. I mean, if you don't have any questions, I'll be surprised. So that's what I say. Ask as many questions, no problems with that. But also trust and believe in the process. So that was amazing on your part as well, which actually enabled us to get to this outcome. So do you want to share the outcome? Like what did we actually do? Do you want to talk anything about the deal that happened?
So I think the deal went through really well with a good price and everything. So you cracked the deal with a good price. That was really good for me. And I think the property itself is really good. Like, when I look at it, I really feel that because I've lived in Townsville, so I pretty much know the suburb. I mean, I would have still trusted you because you had a very good explanation and you've answered all the questions, but it looked really well. And I think, you showed like how it has also grown in just almost 6 weeks time. So that actually makes me feel, really confident about the process, that yes, you've taken a good risk. That's what I can say.
Do you
And
want
I
to talk
remember,
anything about
yeah,
it? How much it has grown? How has it performed? Do you want to talk about it at all?
I think it's 20-30,000 K in almost 6 weeks. So yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, and I'm really happy. Like, I'm not showing it, but yeah, no, I'm really happy. And I can actually text my parents tonight, because my parents back home in India, they are not into this investments and all that. So they were not very keen on this. My brother in US, he doesn't much believe in that, but his friend has always told that, investment into the property and all that stuff, that's really helps. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely tell them about this, and they're gonna feel proud of me. So yeah, no, thank you.
That's amazing. Do you think it
Yeah,
was worth the investment working with
of
us?
course. Oh, of course, with you for sure, and the property for sure. Absolutely, absolutely, no doubt about it. No
Thank you
doubt.
so very
Yeah.
much. That's pretty kind of you. You make me feel very humble.
No,
Thank
no,
you for
thank you.
that.
And you answered the questions. I was also feeling a bit low, I think, when I was going back and forth. And I think the second time we spoke, at least I appreciate you taking the time and everything. I mean, I know we all do it for a reason, but doing it the way, taking out the time is also equally important. So yeah, thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. I mean, I really enjoyed working with you. That was the best
Yeah.
part because uh, it is at the end of the day, it is a transaction, but for us, it's more about the
Yes.
relationship as well that we
Yes.
build. And I,
Yes.
I personally feel we have built a very good relationship during this process that we ran for like 6 weeks for you, where we ran through your strategy, property brief, finding the right locations, then sourcing the right property, negotiation, closing the deal, and due diligence up until settlement. So I think I enjoyed that process. My team enjoyed that process, and that actually reminds me of a question over here as well, which is kind of funny. How much did this whole process impact your daily life? You are a busy professional. You are a doctor. You are a GP. You have a stressful work to do, and you have a son to look after as well. You are co-parenting. So, in all this life that you were having around you, how much did this property buying process impact your daily life?
See, I'll be really honest, it didn't impact that much, and that's where I say, and I truly believe that I think everyone works really hard, and I think working with you, I know that you've worked with each step so well. I know I've been just because I cannot name the steps doesn't mean I forget the hard work. So I really know like a lot of steps and everything, finding the suburbs. You were going through the listings, and I think, talking to me, and I think also making sure all the other stuff is happening. Still, I think with the property stuff, you're still on board with a lot of things when I ask questions and everything. So, no, I think the stressful I mean that stress was minimized quite significantly, and I think that's because you also work equally quite well with that passion in this field, I feel.
Yeah, and after you've bought the property, like after having bought it, once it is rented out already, how much time is it taking from you on a daily basis just to manage it or on a weekly basis? Are you spending like time to manage it or is it impacting your personal and professional life?
No, 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 no. It's just like I think now I do feel that I need someone like you to manage the property who I can, keep asking questions and everything. But things are quite like manageable. They are not impacting my day to day life at all. No, no. It's. I think the process was. I mean, I would say the whole process was overwhelming. But I think from the time I've met you, I think it has become a lot more easier, right? Knowing the process and everything. Yeah.
That's good to know. That's really good to know. And just one very cheeky question I would like to throw in over here. Do you feel like you should have started this journey much earlier?
Oh yes, I mean I did feel that, and I think my friends know me. Like I don't take risks that easily. I think two of them who are into the property, so they were quite impressed, and so I think now I feel that I should have done that early. But I guess I think. I
That's
think
fine.
I also believe it happens at the right time, at the
It
right
always
reason.
is.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
We can never go back in time, but we can always learn and
yeah.
plan
Learn
accordingly.
and plan accordingly. So at least now I feel that being this, having a little bit of security, now I feel a little bit more confident in investing in, let's say, my health, or let's say for my son's stuff, that before, this process of not knowing and trying to research these things and stuff was taking in fact more time. So that, yeah, so again, that 6 week process was a lot better. I wish I would have done that before, but
Nah, and once you have done it, now you've bought the property. What are your future plans? Because you talked about financial security, you talk about your health as well. You're pretty passionate about it. So, what are your plans moving forward? What are you thinking?
That's again, it's a difficult question now. My plans moving ahead, like in terms, is to maybe in 6 months get back with you to sit down and look into it as to what next. But maybe in few years down the track, I do want to start looking at maybe an apartment from myself, maybe where, because we'll be looking at the high school for my son. So that's the next process. But let's see how that pans out, and I'm definitely going to ask your advice again, like even if it's here somewhere here, next. It's not going without asking you, it's like that. So
And what would be your advice to someone who was sitting on the fence, not taking any action, not doing anything? Any advice to them as well after having experienced this whole thing for yourself? Feel confident now?
this is the shortest answer. If you give me my number, I'll give them your number. Just contact them, like, okay, he's the person to talk to. He will really help you go through, sit down with you, work with your goals, strategies, listen to you, and yeah, work with you. That's, it's very important, like, working with that person, that's very important.
Yes. You made my day. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so very much for that.
Not at all, not at all.
And thank you
Absolutely
for your
honored.
time as well. I know you had a very long and busy day and you still managed to
So as
find
you.
time for us tonight. So thank you again, Rushi.
Not at all, not at all.
And good luck with your journey. I'm sure we are not speaking for the last time today. We will keep in touch.
We'll keep in touch for sure.
So, I would love to help you achieve your financial security goals as much
Yes,
as I can. I probably cannot help you on the health side of things
that's
because
okay.
speaking for yourself, I don't have that expertise. But from the financial security side of things, me and my team would love to keep helping you, keep working with you, and keep helping you build that legacy that works well
Oh
for
yeah,
your son and makes your parents proud.
awesome. No, thank you so much, Adil, and thanks to the whole team. Thank you.
Thank you so much.